So I'm at the part where, like, William Hurt has gone blind. He's using this camera that he's developed to help blind people see. Right, engineering again. Here we go. And he's in Japan, and he goes into this ryokan, and this old guy is helping him with herbal medicine, like heal so that he can see again, because he's been doing too much work on the computer. Um, I want to tell you folks that obviously I detect in the world at large that there's going to be a lot of anti-American hate and anti-American backlash because of what's happened. And I know that because yours truly fits that demographic, regardless of who I am or what a kind person I am, or how people take me or my point. There are people on this thread that think probably I'm the most ignorant person in the world. I get it. Trust me. I understand that there are stereotypes in the world, and if that's all you've ever heard about something, then that's all you've ever heard. And then all these Americans are stupid people. And they don't want to believe that, unfortunately, America is defined by the loudest. America has been being defined by the most crass and callous and, out front people ever. And I think that's why some of us have embraced social media, to try to push back on that, because it's not the norm. Everyday people that are working hard and doing things and educating themselves and their families, we stay out of all that, and we stay out of the limelight, we stay out of the headlights of things. And a lot of us, do our best, to live honorable lives. But there is a large portion of the world right now that believes that there's nothing honorable about us. And that's really a sad reality. But people like me, we have to bear the burden of that because of people like what we saw happened in Savannah, Georgia, right? And Koreans have a right to be absolutely pissed off and think that we're all a bunch of backwoods rednecks and we don't understand anything, and we're a group of people with no culture and no education, and we don't understand complex concepts, and that, like, none of us speak multiple languages, and that we're all like like monolingual, and none of us know math, and can't play an instrument or read music. So none of us have contributed to the arts. None of us have contributed to science, right? That's the general consensus of white Americans right now outside of America. And it's mostly because the loudest amongst us have been the most problematic and the most abrasive. And people outside of America have said to people like me, well, you let those people rule the roost and get loud. You let people like that run the country. What do you expect? We're not going to just give you the benefit of the doubt. I get it. In a country of 138 million people, I really wish I had the power to put the right people in charge, but I don't. And I don't know if people outside of America understand the generational powers that have occurred in America. From the baby boomer generation and the silent generation above them, and the Gen X, which is my generation. We're a very tiny generation. And because we were a tiny generation, born, 1968 to 1980, we've had no political power. None. We're the forgotten generation. They made a really funny movie. Okay, so they made a really funny movie about us years ago, and it became known as like some toxic manifesto called Fight Club, right? They made a movie about our generation called Fight Club, and it was just a toxic thing where we were sick and tired of being forgotten, because we were, and we pushed back against the baby boomers who were in control of everything, and we wanted to cause disruption. And then, that movie quietly got shelved because the ending of the movie in 1999 had an eerie and very similar ending to 9/11, and people were like kind of freaked out by that. Okay, so sometimes art does mimic life, and life mimics art, as Andy Warhol used to say. I cannot go to bat for the whole country and try to convince people in the outside world that are watching my videos right now and tell you that we're good people and get you to believe us, because I'm guessing it's going to fall on deaf ears. I was just talking to another nice lady from somewhere, probably South Korea. God bless her. She's probably a wonderful human being and probably an excellent cook, and raises good family and has a great job and tells people what to do, and has nieces and nephews and all these good things, and drives a car, and does all the things that we do too, and probably a great person. But she was obviously thinking that she was talking to some Eliza Doolittle, like, gutter snipe, poor Professor Higgins, like like My Fair Lady. I'm like, I'm not a gutter snipe. I'm not a child from the guy. It's like, no. But people have these stereotypes about who ignorant people are, and now America has to wear these clothes, don't they? Because of their actions. And people are pissed off outside of America about us and the things that have happened because of the way we have treated them. And I wish I could wave a magic wand and make the world perfect, but I cannot. I cannot. I'm 54 years old, constantly been in college and in university my whole life. I've constantly educated myself. I've been an artist. I've been a best-selling author. I've worked in film and television. I've been a father and raised kids. I've been, in the military. I've been in combat. I have tried to be a good person my whole life, and I have never sought to demonize somebody or belittle somebody or racially humiliate somebody or treat somebody less than because of their demographic and where they're from. It's horrible. It's a horrible thought. I would rather die than be forced to do something like that. But some people you cannot convince, and they think that you're ignorant, and they think that you don't get it, and they think you're a bad person, and they think everybody that's white in America is awful. And that's just where we're at, and it's going to be like that for a while, I think. And this stuff with Hyundai and South Korea, God bless them. Thankfully the Gen Z kids are the ones who will benefit from these bettered relationships as they progress, and hopefully these relationships do progress, because my kid and all the other kids out there that wish to grow up and maybe go work in Korea, South Korea, and China and places like that, and Japan, and go travel through Asia, because it's beautiful over there. I've been there. It's beautiful, and it's hyper modern. America should be emulating that. What are you going to do? We're arguing about building a bullet train in California. It should have been done. We're arguing about doing it. Not who's going to do it faster and who's going to get it done. Like, no, we shouldn't even do it. Like, it's absurd that we don't want to modernize our infrastructure. We just want to keep doing the same things. We want to keep putting bitumen and tarmac down on the highways for blacktop and make more blacktop. And that's modernization in America lately. Okay, there's 9 minutes for you. I'm going to watch this. William Hurt and Sylvie Domartin are in, so they're on a boat. They're going to San Francisco right now. That's where they're at in the movie. And I think they've fallen in love, right? And she started to record some of Samuel Farber's family with that camera that helps blind people see. You should watch that movie. It's probably the most beautiful film you've never seen until the end of the world. Practice kindness, okay? So be good to one another.